One Zambia, one nation. Good evening and welcome to Zanis News. I'm Ethel Chanda, your presenter. The headlines. President Hichilema leads the unveiling of Nyerere's statue in Ethiopia. Northern Province predicted as the next food basket. Government calls for more cultivation of cashew nuts. And Copper Queens prepare for Olympic qualifiers. President Hakainde Hichilema has asked Africa 50, a pan-African investment platform created by African governments and the African Development Bank, to address Africa's crucial infrastructure funding needs for economic progress by considering exploring investment opportunities in the energy sector with bias towards thermal energy. The president said focus on addressing the energy needs is critical in view of the devastating effects of climate change, which is also affecting food security in countries like Zambia, as she depends on rain-fed agriculture. The meeting with Africa 50 took place on the sidelines of the 37th African Union Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Kalan Muchima is in Ethiopia and filed in this report.
It's been meetings back-to-back for President Hakainde Hichilema, who was in Ethiopia for the 37th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of States and Government of the African Union. On Sunday morning and on the sidelines of the AU Summit, the President held a bilateral meeting with a delegation from Africa 50, a pan-African investment platform created by African governments and the African Development Bank to address Africa's crucial infrastructure funding needs for economic progress. The platform, through its Chief Executive Officer, Alain Mbobaisi, informed the President that it is interested to explore investment opportunities in the energy sector.
We also thought about transmission PPP in Zambia. My colleagues, I believe, have initiated discussions with ESCO to look at whether there are possible transmission PPP that will do. So this is what Africa 50 is all about. We are still relatively small, but we have enough capital to start. And more importantly, we focus on the part of the capital structure where we can leverage to achieve bigger goals. Again, less than $1 billion of capital. That's why we don't do debt financing. Debt financing requires too much capital.
The President expressed the government's willingness to investment proposals, especially those that can help to address the devastating effects of climate change.
In the region, we are one of the food surplus countries. But because we don't have, I'll talk about this irrigation, our crop is largely rain-fed, and therefore it's at risk if the rains are not available. Climate change, again, is driving these issues. Right now, we're 1 month, I think today, of no rain at the most critical time when the crop needs some moisture. So we have issues there. The second major problem we have with drought is that our energy security gets taken out because we are 90% plus hydro. Already we have the best energy, green energy in our country.
The President also held a meeting with Lesotho's Prime Minister Sam Matekane, who was lobbying for Zambia's support towards the country's candidate, Joshua Sitipe, for the Commonwealth Secretary General position this year.
We are saying, please support him to get the position.
Indeed.
I also spoke to Patricia yesterday.
Yes. Yes.
She just laughed at me.
In response, President Hakainde Hichilema called for consultations between SADC and ECOWAS blocs so as to flout one candidate.
So I suggest that we clean our house now. Although it's an Africa slot, 3 is too many.
Yeah.
Let's have one candidate. Yeah. Let's lobby. And if it's him, we will celebrate. Yeah. As Lesotho, as Zambia, SADC. If it's not him, we will bank that. Meaning the next time there's an opportunity, ECOWAS has no choice.
On Saturday, the President also held bilateral meetings with the World Bank before joining President Paul Kagame of Rwanda for yet another closed-door meeting. Kalan Muchima, reporting for Zanis, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
The Southern African Development Community, SADC, has unveiled a 3 meters tall statue at the African Union Building headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in honor of Tanzania's founding president, Julius Nyerere. President Hakainde Hichilema, in his capacity as chairman of the SADC organ on politics, defense and security cooperation, led the unveiling process. President Hichilema said the statue, which will be a constant reminder to all regional blocs and the global community of President Nyerere's noble work in bringing about peace and stability. From Addis Ababa, Kalan Chima now reports.
In 2020, Southern African Development Community SADC resolved to erect statues in honor of all the 9 SADC founding presidents for their contributions towards peace and security, and of course also for their liberation struggle movements. Now, today here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, we've just witnessed the unveiling of one statue which has been erected in honor of Tanzania's founding president, Julius Mwalimu Nyerere, which has been erected here at the African Union Building headquarters here in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. President Hakainde Hichilema was leading other leaders in his capacity as a chairman of the SADC organ on politics, defense and security cooperation.
This statue will be a constant reminder to all of us, individual countries, our regional economic blocs, the Z-way of groupings, and Africa, and I believe the global community, for the noble work that this statesman, this true son of Tanzania, son of Africa, did for all of us and the global community. It is now my singular honor to unveil this statue of Dr. Julius Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere, one of the founding fathers, as I said, of the regional body of SADC and the continental body of the African Union. May the memory of Dr. Julius Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere continue to live on.
Also in attendance was Tanzania's President Samia Hassan Suluhu.
Mwalimu backed the founding of our organization and mobilized Tanzanians in support of liberation movements across the continent. Even after leaving office, his support for Africa's efforts, including for peace, remained unwavering.
The African Union Commission was also represented at the unveiling ceremony.
The legacy of this remarkable leader encapsulates the essence of Pan-Africanism, profound wisdom, and service to Africa.
Another interesting feature also is that this statue has been erected right in front of another building named after President Julius Nyerere, called the Peace and Security Building at the AU headquarters. Here you also find statues only. The last emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, who is also credited for modern Ethiopia today, and of course another statue which is erected in honor of Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. So those are the 3 statues that you're going to find here at the AU headquarters. Alan Muchima reporting for Zanis in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Meanwhile, Information and Media Minister Cornelius Mwetwa says the unveiling of the Julius Nyerere statue at the African Union Building in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, symbolizes the reaffirmation of Africa's principles of peace being the fundamental requirement and social and economic development.
This is very important because it is a reaffirmation of Africa to the founding principles of peace and unity as a platform for national, regional and continental development. This unveiling of this statue, I am reliably informed, is just one of them. A number of other iconic African former leaders will be unveiled in years to come at events such as this one. And it is very important because it speaks to the themes of the moment. And as we saw yesterday, that the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, together with his other colleagues, did yesterday call for the change in the global financial architecture, particularly to do with Africa, so that Africa can access, affordable capital, and that Africa should be given an opportunity to have a say.
In our local news, Paramount Chief Chitimukulu of the Bemba people has predicted Northern Province to be the next food basket of the country. The traditional leader says the region has continued to receive good rainfall and has good soil, which is conducive for farming. He said this when a team from United Capital Fertilizer paid a courtesy call on him at his residence in Kasama. Geoffrey Piri gives us more in this report.
While other parts of the country are experiencing drought, the crop in Northern Province is flourishing. And this is due to, among other factors, the favorable rains that the area has continued to receive. Farmers in Kasama are happy with the performance of their crops.
So ayamataba sungishe fie sana wana chimutima chakwati tushitishia mataba tukashara munsara knife.
United Capital Fertilizer, the company that was engaged to distribute D-compound fertilizer in Northern Province under the Farmer Input Support Program, is elated with the performance of the crop in Kasama.
So this time around, I've just been going around to visit farmers, and I've received quite a number of positive feedback. I'm impressed. There are no complaints so far in the field that I've been, and they're just encouraging us to keep on supplying the same stuff.
Paramount Chief Chitimukulu is confident of a good harvest in the province.
We have started learning at least. The harvest will be very good.
The traditional leader who was speaking when officials from the United Capital Fertilizer called on him at his residence has since tipped the province to become the next food basket of Zambia.
We have got good soil, we have got also the rainfall. I don't know why we should be not the bread basket or something like that. We should feed the whole country according to the climatic conditions we have. If we want to put our energy and do it, but the government is helping.
Geoffrey Piri reporting for Zanis in Kasama district.
In other news, Minister of Green Economy and Environment Collins Nzovu has called on more people to plant cashew nut trees in Western Province. Mr. Nzovu says cashew nut provides nutrition and food security at household levels and offers huge business opportunities as it fetches high on the global market. The minister said this during the cashew nut tree planting exercise by the export trading group Climate Solutions Zambia at Ilundu Farm, Mweke Camp in Limunga district. Darlington Kabambe has the details.
Minister of Green Economy and Environment Collins Nzovu has called on many farmers to grow cashew nut trees in Western Province. Mr. Nzovu said this at the cashew nut tree planting ceremony by the export trade group Climate Solutions Zambia at Ilundu Farm in Mweke Camp in the Mulonga district. He said cashew nut trees provide a forest cover in mitigating against the negative effects of climate change.
Cashew nut, it produces are important for nutrition at household level, thus providing food security and nutritional imperative. Today I stand here at the invitation of ETG Climate Solutions Zambia to flag off the tree planting activities here in Western Province with a special focus on cashew tree planting. Cashew is a tree crop that has great potential to enhance rural livelihoods in the region as well as contribute significantly to improving forest cover as we push to mitigate against the negative effects of climate change.
Tafuma Mutasa is the country head export trade group Climate Solutions Zambia.
We would like to assure the traditional leadership that we will continue to work hand in hand for the betterment of this jurisdiction. We decided to choose cashew because we believe it has two benefits. The first and most important benefit of cashew is if we look after it well, it produces raw cashew nut, which is a product that is gaining in much demand internationally because of its health benefits. And if we manage to produce it at scale, it also talks to the fact that the prices we expect from the production of cashew should increase.
Western Province Export Trading Group Regional Manager Nyamberu Hira said the organization is targeting about 10,000 cashew nut farmers in 10 districts of Western Province.
For this season, for the 10 districts, we are targeting 10,000 farmers. And the seedlings that we have raised is basically to that level. So a hectare, each farmer is around 69 plants. So that's what we are targeting. So 69 trees means in a hectare you still at a spacing of 12 meters. So you can see that the spacing is wide. That's why for the coming season we are embarking also an addition of intercropping so that the farmer is able to make money from the intercrop and also help the farmer manage the cashew before it starts giving food.
Richard Stali, a cashew nut farmer, has thanked the Export Trade Group for assisting him with the chemicals.
Kamkoitwa mu 2020 lukonire kweza hande konolo toba ni butata ba miliani kotazalo netokenerwa kibutuku akubuzabuza bayitijika kulupotera batofumala kuli ali kotazalo nalina ni butuku sebatolufa wateni miliani lukala kweza nga spray likotazalo naze kamkoitwalo likotazalo nazibire hande ahuru alitoba ni 1 year 8 1 year 8 months likotazalo na kilitokala kubeya ndongo.
Darlington Kawambe reporting in Mangu District, Western Province.
We take our first break. Stay tuned for more stories.
Hena korera ninzi korera bulwazi bwa kusomona imuntu ugiswa bulwazi bwa korera ulasomona kuluka kapati itubi tulamenda manji imulwazi ulangwanya utaka pati agambwa kumana kwa menda mubiri imulwazi iwa korera wenga wahwa umawola alo ali 12 gombo butita jana busirisi buli kaboto hena munzira iri buti muntu bwagwanya kujana bulwazi bwa korera igunya menda alo atabikibyo musamu ja tuzunda na amenda aje sitombe igurya jakurya jalo igubere hamanza atasahigwa igabuto na igubere hamitiba na himwi alo atasahigwa amimusamu na mwamenda ajisi imusamu walo ja tuzunda igurya jakurya jitawunigidwe jalo jakarwa nzinini igurya jakurya jitontola jalo jalegegwa na jajilo jalo jenero tija oboroga boto igurya jakurya jamumazira igurya imijelo na jihumani jalo jatasahigwa gaboto hena munzira iri buti muntu mbwagwa hogwa bira bulwazi bwa korera igubona masimpe guti wabagwananganya gaboto menda agunywa igwinda mugubona masimpe guti ajigwa na igubiko musamu wa chlorine amusambe mumanze nugubere hansipa na menda abigyo musamu uja tuzunda mwamana gubere hajimbuzi amugisibige nango jigasaha ija kurya gamutana agujirya amuhunige ija kurya jindi yonse igutegwa guti gitakarwe nzinini mutari ija kurya jagura mu mazira amuberehe ijimbuzi jindi yonse amulitantamune mugobereha igumbuli na tupepa rwa plastic mugusowa tubi ambone masimpe guti tubi twasogwa na igubikwa mu jimbuzi ambone masimpe guti jimbuzi jindi yonse gajisalala na gajihunigidwe oyimulumbe wale twkulindunye abamutabulanga nyanseba mujisi.
Now, exciting news for the people of Eastern Province. Provincial Permanent Secretary Paul Tolle has revealed that President Hakainde Hichilema will attend this year's Ntrala traditional ceremony slated for February 24, 2024 at Mtenguleni in Chipata district. Speaking during the final preparatory meeting of the ceremony, Mr. Tole said government has rendered all the needed support towards the event. More in this report.
Eastern Province Permanent Secretary Potole says President Hakainde Hichilema will attend this year's Nkwala ceremony, which is supposed to take place this week in Chipata district. Speaking during the final preparatory meeting of the Nkwala ceremony, Mr. Tole said government has rendered all the needed support during the preparations.
Chiziviso cheninganene pano nkhosi nchakuti a president akuza kunkwala. Bintu vonse mwatidarisira mulungu tapereka nkhosi chokera kumagreda social corporate responsibility the quota nyama imozi ikulu yaperekewa kale mwaishi nkhosi sitilekera yapa koma patingaponepo patitione kuti apa pofunikira thandiziro monga mambo kale za umoyo yai takumbusha nkhosi atikumbukira titumijira tuklorini tokwanira tumatraki tutatu toonesha kuti muno mwasu mu Eastern Province kuno kwasu andi makamaka kuno kunkwala mwambo wasu ti uchite mwachitetezo chokwanira.
And Paramount Chief Mpezeni of Tengoni speaking people in Eastern Province is happy that the head of state will be guest of honor at the ceremony.
So, nakondo vile msingi kuti a president yake. So, kwa sikuwa president osensi. Niwambi, kwa mwatu zio president ni yevu mno lechechi. Ndio tuzio zibolosi ndabisi. Uma, nuziwa, nuzo oluveve a opposition. Wakawele, njira yawe tiara sati zauti utia pena mkati teti zauti pena mwanda na mwafaya kulika. Oma, mkaimo kuze dabe, ozone yawe itape mwambo. So special ya mimi mwewe, special ya mwewe muito opposition. Ndawa zini, sunufuno tiana. Apa wemu, a president naita kuti akakale kesu patituzi president ya president sina rekutiwa pela kuchula ukakale munga kampeni ground ya kampeni akifuna kampeni mkachite mweka olomoya unamu waluli mpate kulimbe hizo utia kufuna hizo masipa waluli mbaremba kufuna hizo kwa masipa nikapeze kukutishe nyemne chishamu kupezeka chishamu tufuna ulendo ulu ukakale ulendo wavu.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata.
Tobacco farmers in Eastern Province are concerned with the static price of the crop despite rising production costs and harsh weather conditions. But the Tobacco Board of Zambia says it has already engaged merchants and farmers themselves to address the situation. Here is a report.
Gathered here are different stakeholders in the tobacco industry, including farmers, buyers, and the traditional leadership. The Tobacco Board of Zambia called for this pre-marketing tobacco stakeholders meeting in Chipata ahead of this year's marketing season.
Also want to acknowledge as Tobacco Board of Zambia for your efforts. I think in the just ended tobacco marketing season, record 44.4 million kgs in terms of the total production, of which that showed 22% increase if we compared to the previous season in 2022. And from that figure of 44.4 million, Eastern Province contributed about 60% to the total production.
In attendance was Chief Chenonda of Chipangali District and Mulolo of Chadiza, who spoke through a representative.
Their Royal Highnesses at their meeting somewhere, specialized Indians who are advising their Royal Highnesses to venture into harvesting of rainwater, of which they have said they are ready to support this one. So take it up, that one there. So As rain season comes, let us not allow rainwater to go to Indian Ocean. Why can't we harvest rainwater and use that rainwater for irrigation purposes? Find some mechanism or techniques in which we can advise farmers how to come up with a system which can help farmers to sensitize them or maybe to orient them so that they know how to treat tobacco in an environment of drought system.
Other matters of interest hinged on the pricing of the crop.
Price matrix must be produced to the tobacco farmers so that we are motivated and engaged into the pricing. I've been growing tobacco for 30 years. The same receipts for tobacco. For barley, the highest we have ever gone is $3. From 1975, if you see Interbex price receipts, they will show you $2, $3. The highest we have gone in barley is $3. The scenario has changed.
Tobacco Board of Zambia chairperson Phil Daka was on hand to respond to these concerns.
The tobacco price has been static for some years now, and owing to a lot of economic fundamentals, expensive inputs, and these are things that are not corresponding to the output in their language. So they are saying, what is it that TBZ should be doing to ensure that they've intervened and making sure that they bring a very competitive sort of tobacco price. Yes, these are things that we've been talking about, and I want to also make reference to our strategic plan of 2024 to 2028. I think going forward, TBZ now is supposed to be taking part into the price metrics aspect of it, and these are sort of activities that we would be going in before the planting season starts, or before the marketing season itself.
Abigail Kashweka report in Chipata district.
Chipata City Mayor George Mwanza has urged youths in the district to take keen interest in information and communication technology ICT services. Mr. Mwanza observed that Zambia is still lagging behind in digital transformation, hence the need to impart ICT skills in young people to support the growth of the sector. He explains that the move will help in creating job opportunities for young people as opposed to relying on formal employment. Mr. Mwanza further noted the high demand for digital skills globally and called on youths to take advantage of various opportunities provided by government and other partners. He said this when he officiated a Tech Drive Youth Training Workshop organized by Billy Child Welfare Foundation. Meanwhile, Foundation's director, Jonathan Maziopa, told Zanis in Chipata that the aim of the project is to ensure that digital skills are imparted in people at an early stage in a bid to bridge the existing gaps.
So the digital space can market you people, can market our city, can really market a lot of people. Hence, the need for young people to learn these digital skills. It's very, very important. My website, you are on my website in Chipata, that's why I've been to Chita or Malonda, my business. How many business houses in Chipata have got websites? Very few. Okay? You get the point. One, because they don't know the importance, but the most important issue is that there are very few people who can develop websites.
We are trying to move with them slowly by slowly so that we go to a point where they'll be able to use programs like Android Studio, programs like Visual Studio, which is a software owned by Microsoft, which enabled us to create Orion and any other projects that we've been doing.
The church in Chirundu district of Southern Province has been commended for working closely with the government in taking development to the people. Chirundu Town Council Chairperson Nevas Muchindu says President Hakainde Hichilema wants closer relationship with the church to attain meaningful development. Mr. Muchindu adds that President Hichilema is happy with the support government has continued to receive from the church in the delivery of quality social services to the people. He said this at the induction service for Reverend Charles Valley of the United Church of Zambia UCZ Chirundu congregation in the Lusaka Presbytery area. UCZ Lusaka Presbytery Bishop Dr. Lodwell Siame implored Reverend Chwale to embrace teamwork and innovation for her to succeed in her evangelism work. And Reverend Chibale held the works and efforts of her predecessor, Reverend Royce Uluta, for growing and advancing God's kingdom.
Being a church, you are partners. And that is what our President must be talking about. We are not in any competition with the church.
I request that in government, I think you are aware about the CDF. That money is not segregative. That money is for all of us here. And I call upon this congregation to make sure that take use of that fund. There is youth empowerment, women empowerment, that is your money. It is not for a particular group, it is for your money as a country, as Zambians.
Doing God's will. We are all aware that from the Bible, God revealed himself. And he revealed himself in the lives of human beings, communities, situations, and experiences. And so therefore, we did a great deal, all of us, from the experiences of biblical people. And when we get all that happened, we try to apply it in our life. I think we see God at work, even in our life. Because certain things that happen in those people's lives are things that we experience and things that we see. So, Reverend, as we induct you today, especially for the first time after you left your plan, you came to Lusaka. Since then, you've never been given a pastoral charge.
We take our second break. Stay tuned for the rest of the news.
Bushe cholera chinshi. Cholera bulwele bwa kupolomia. Omuntu ukwete cholera alapolomia sana eyo nonkuluka. Obusali buba ubwa menshi nokubutuluka ngomo basukire omupunga. Omulwele wa cholera takwata menshi mu mubiri pamulandu wa kuluka eyo nokupolomia. Omulwele wa cholera kuti afwa munsa 12 na ngontile 12 hours ngataperwa omuti uwafikapo. Usho muntu kuti akwata shani cholera. Ukunwa menshi ayabula okuwamya nango ayafiko. Okulya ifya kulya nemino iyalamba nango mufipe ifya abula okusamfya na menshi ayasuma. Okulya ifya kulya ifyo basunga okwabula okufimbapo ifya kutira na balunshi baleikalapo. Okulya ifya kulya ifya shelepo ifya talala ifya kutira tabafisungire bwino nakalya iyo. Okulya ifya kulya ifyo bashitisha mu misebo. Okulya ifisabo elyo n'omusalo ifya abula okusamfya. Kuti twaichingirira shani ku bulwele bwa cholera. Wamyanya menshi yakunwa okupitira mu kuipika nango okubika mu chlorine. Sambeni kuminwa na sopo elyo na menshi ayasuma panuma yakubomfya chimbusu. Kafyeniko ifya kulya ilyo tamulalya. Fimbeni pa fyakulya fyonse pakuti balunshi tabaleikalapo. Mwilalya ifyakulya fisangwa mu misebo. Bomfyeni chimbusu inshita yonse. Mwila bomfya ifikunkubiti nangu ifupepala pakuposa ubusali. Shiningisha inokutila ubusali bonse bwaposwa mu chimbusu. Sungeni chimbusu ichabusaka no kufimbapo inshita yonse. Iimbila abamireterako chipa ni chimona pabumi.
In our sports news, Red Arrows Women Football Club has made its intentions to be top contenders for the 2024 Women's Super League when they used home ground advantage to beat Zanaco Women Football Team by 4-0. Here is a report.
Played before a capacity crowd at their home turf from Coloma Stadium, the Zambia Air Force-sponsored side made their intentions known through their lead striker, Mes Kaluba, in the 32nd minute of the first half. In the following half, Red Arrows women team made attack after attack, which saw the scoreline 4-0 by the 90th minute. After the last whistle, Zanaco coach Doris Mlenga said, despite today's loss, she was happy with the way her girls played today's game.
We played very well in the first half. We just didn't utilize the chances. I think we were winning the game in the first half, but we didn't utilize a lot of the chances that we had, and the girls missed a lot, and then they started panicking after conceding the able to maintain the momentum. Otherwise, it was a good game. I'm happy with the way they played, despite them not scoring, because at least they played the good game that we wanted them to play.
Her colleague Daniel Sivanda was also thankful to his players who he said had followed his instructions to win the match. Sivanda said today's results was good enough to put his team the top contenders for this year's title.
Definitely our target is to be in the bracket of 4. Every game I know is a difficult game, but the girls are ready to face their challenges. But we shall be by the tail.
As by broadcast time, results of Green Buffalo's women's football team. As by broadcast time, results of Green Buffalo's women's football team and allied women were not known. It can only be hoped that Red Arrow's women's football team had cruised to 5th position and remain likely league champions this year around. Zanis reports from Nkoloma Stadium in Lusaka.
And Copper Queens midfielder Everine Katongo says the team needs to prepare adequately ahead of the 2024 Olympics first leg qualifier against the Black Queens of Ghana if they are to emerge victorious. Katongo notes that the team will not take advantage of the victory against Angola in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier, as Ghana is a good team with a number of experienced players. Speaking during a training session at Nkoloma Stadium in Lusaka, Katongo emphasized that the team needs nothing but a win, as it will give them confidence to also win the home match. Katongo states that playing the league games has helped her in her individual capacity to gain more strength physically and mentally, which has kept her fit and enabled her to work on her mistakes. Zambia national women's team will face Ghana on February 23rd and play the return leg on 28th February at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola.
We have more pressure playing the away game, but we as a team are preparing very well because we want to finish up the match when we go to Ghana. And when we come back here, we just want to wrap up the games. I think Ghana is somehow experienced. They have more experienced players than Angola, and I think we just have to work hard for this match because being the Olympic qualifier, each and every team wants to go there. Even us want to go there. Even them, we don't know how they are preparing there, but we just have to work hard and concentrate during the training sessions. I think the league games have really helped me to keep myself fit and to continue working hard, and also to know where I'm making mistakes and work on those same mistakes.
We end the news on that note, but before we go, a look at the headlines once again. President Hichilema leads the unveiling of Nyerere's statue in Ethiopia. Northern Province predicted as the next food basket. Government calls for more cultivation of cashew nuts. And Copper Queens prepare for Olympic qualifiers. That's all we had for you on Zanis Main News tonight. Thank you so much for watching.